Hello everyone, welcome to our virtual class on quarter 3, week 5. This is Teacher Helen, your class advisor. Now let us start our class with a prayer. Let us bow down our head and put ourselves into the presence of the Lord. Dear God, I thank you for protecting me through the night. I praise you and give you thanks for all the blessings that you have bestowed on me. Lord, I give you all my words, thoughts, and actions and consecrate them to you. Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing to you. For you, O Lord, are my strength and my Redeemer. In Jesus' name, Amen. Let's have pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Let us sing all together. Bayang magiliw, perlas na silangan ng alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay, lupang hinir, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim, lupa na araw ng luwalhati't pagsintang, buhay ang langit sa piging mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Okay, good afternoon once again. Let us welcome you to our lessons for the week 5. We have science, MAPE, English, and Filipino. Okay, let's start with your science. Our lesson is all about sound and matter. In this lesson, you will explain how sound is transmitted through matter and describe the different effects of sound on people and objects. Okay. Look at the picture. What is the boy doing? The boy is playing an instrument, guitar. Guitar is a string instrument, right? You hear various sounds around you through your hand? Wrong. Eyes? Wrong. Nose? Wrong. What about ears? Correct. We hear sounds through your ears. Do you know how sound is produced? So, that is the question that we are going to find out in our lesson. Another. If heat and light can travel from the sun all the way down the earth, can sound also travel in outer space? Another questions that we are going to find out in this lesson. Now let us start with the definition of sound. Sound is energy associated with vibrations in matter. So let us highlight the word vibrations. So through vibrations, sound is produced. So the best example is, why can we talk? Why can you hear me discussing, reporting in front of you? So, let us raise our hand, put our hand in our neck, and feel if there is vibration while you are talking. Okay, let us say some words and let us touch our neck and feel if there is vibration. Hello. Good morning. Hi. Thank you. Please. Okay, I feel that there is vibration produced. That is why you can hear sounds. When we talk, you can communicate to anyone because of the sound produced by your throat. Okay, the vibrations travel or move through a medium and are heard when they are detected by a receiver such as your ears. Okay, there are properties of sound. These include pitch and intensity. So let us define pitch and intensity. Pitch. Difference in the speed of its movement can be observed. Okay, pitch. Such vibration can be slow or fast. Again, pitch, slow or fast. Okay, fast vibrations produce high pitch, whereas low vibrations produce low pitch sounds. So, recall the human voices. So, we have female voices, we have soprano and alto, while the male voices is tenor and bass. So, the high pitch for male and female are soprano and tenor. Right? Soprano and tenor. So, it means high pitch. They are high pitch voices. So, singers having high pitch produce fast vibrations. Again, soprano for female voice and tenor for the male voice, which produces high pitch. So, mostly the singers have fast or produced fast vibrations. What about low pitch sounds? Okay, these are low vibrations, human voices like alto and bass. So, they belong to low pitch sounds that produces low because of low vibration. So, there are also instruments that produces high pitch and low pitch sounds. So, for example, the best example that the two belongs, or fast and low vibrations are there, is the guitar. So we know that the guitar is a string instrument, and each string instruments we have thick string and thin string. So it produces both high pitch and low pitch sounds. What about the brass instruments? The French horn, trumpet, trombone. Fast or low? High pitch or low pitch? They belong to high pitch sounds. So what about some percussion instruments? Some belong to low pitch and some belong to high pitch. It depends upon the chords. Okay, second, we have intensity. Intensity described as volume. So when we say volume, decreased or increased volume, it is the loudness and softness of the sound produced. How sound travels? Of course, it will come up in your mind that sound travels through our ears. But let us know that there are medium on how sound travels. So ears serve as detectors of sound. So our ears detect sound. The carrier of the sound from the source to your ears is also called a medium. So the best example for medium of sound is the air. Air acts as a medium of sound. Sound can also travel through solid and liquid media. In fact, sound travels faster through liquid than through a gas. Here's a question. What state of matter would carry sound the best? Is it solid, it is liquid, or gas? Of course, just like heat and light, solids conduct heat best and sounds best because of the tight arrangement of particles within its structure. Example is table being top. Okay. Do you hear sounds? What is more sound produced? Solid, which is the table, or you tap the table, or you tap the water? Okay, of course, it's the solid, which is the table being tapped. It is widely accepted among scientists that sound cannot travel in space. So, here is the answer to the question. Sound cannot travel on space. Unlike heat and light, which can radiate from the sun all the way through space to reach the earth. Sound can also travel through solid and liquid media. In fact, sound travels faster through a liquid than through a gas. So again and again, the best carrier state of matter would carry sound the best is solid. Next is liquid, and last will be the gas. Okay. Sound travels continuously through different media, and along the way, it may get absorbed or reflected. Okay, absorbed and reflected. When we say absorbed, materials that absorb sound are acoustic foam, fiber, sponge, cotton, wool, and cork. These materials are used to soundproof a room. So when we say absorb, the sound is prevented from entering or escaping the room. That is why when you have a studio, a music studio, a recording studio, your area must be closed, and it has more. The walls are made of sponge or cotton because these materials are used to soundproof a room. You can record a nice audio. Next, sound also reflected. Okay, what does it mean? Materials that reflect sounds are glass, wood, brick, and concrete. In large houses, example, in large houses, echoes and noise can be a problem. Why? An echo is sound that is reflected back to its source. Okay, because large houses is made of concrete materials, just like brick. Some uses glass and wood. So when you are shouting, when you shout, when you say hello, the sound will echo, will reflect it back to you, the source. It creates a noise. So to avoid noise, if your house is made of concrete, use sound insulators. What are sound insulators? In the form of carpets, curtains, fabric in furniture, and canvas paintings. So that is. Okay. The human ear can detect only a fraction of vibrations in the environment as audible sound. The range at which human can pick up a vibration and interpret it as a sound is called threshold of hearing. Again, humans can pick up vibration and interpret it as sound is called threshold hearing. Intensity of sound is measured in terms of decibels. So when you hear the word decibels, your answer would be sound. Not light, not heat, but sound. Okay, decibels. Listening. The human ear can only tolerate up to 85 decibels of sound. So, it is the maximum or the average of the sounds that our ear can tolerate. Again, 85 decibels of sound. And you can see in the picture below here, from 0 decibels to 140 decibels. So let us find out where the 85 decibels of sound belong. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80, 90. So here, 85 decibels belong. So 80 decibels, it sounds as truck or a hair dryer. And let us see its description. 80 to 90 decibels belongs to very loud. So very loud na ang 85 decibels. So it can damage or it can hurt our ears if we are not limiting our usage of these materials. Okay, we have also the types of sounds here. We have audible sound, ultrasound, and infrasound. So audible sound, it is the frequency that can be heard by the human ear. So what we hear in our ears is called the audible sound. And the two types of audible sound is called ultrasound and infrasound. So higher frequency sound belongs to ultrasound, while lower frequency sound belongs to infrasound. So that was all about sound. So, let us focus on the figure. 0 decibels to 30 decibels is faint. So, okay lang. Okay lang siya. This is the sound of our breathing, rustling of leaves, whisper. While 40 to 50 decibels, these sounds came from sound of refrigerator and moderate rainfall. What about 60 to 70? 60 decibels to 70 decibels, description is loud. So, loud sound na siya. And it comes from the conversation. Yung nakikipag usap ka sa iyong kasapi. And the car city traffic, of course. The horns in the city. Very noise. And this is 80 decibels to 100 decibels. It belongs to very loud, which the human ear can tolerate. So, these sounds came from truck, hair dryer, and helicopter. What about to 110 to 130 decibels? These are the extremely loud. Oh, the trombone, a musical instrument, police siren, wheel, wheel, then jet engine, of course. When you are in the airport, it is very noisy when there is a plane, arrival of plane, and departure of plane. And lastly, threshold of pain is the fireworks. So it belongs to 140 decibels. So do not stay near this 80 to 140 decibels. From 80 decibels to 140 decibels, do not stay near with those objects or matter. If you are carrying your ears. So that's all for the lesson sound and matter. Let us go to your English, which is all about structural analysis of words using suffixes and comparison of adjectives. So let's start with suffixes. Okay. Noun forming suffixes and suffixes for person or agents. Okay, we have in noun forming suffixes includes the following: shun, ins, ants, ment, ism, age, iti, hod, al, and many suffixes appear in nouns and adjectives. They give clues to the meaning of words or give the grammatical function of the words. So, give me an example of noun forming suffixes. Ment. Okay, we have agreement, judgment, refreshment. What about shon? We have execution, correction, implementation. And lastly, we have, I will give you hood, motherhood, childhood, statehood. Those are the noun forming suffixes. When you add these suffixes, the words will become noun. Okay, the second row, we have suffixes for person or agents. So, this include E-R-O-R, Esther, Ayan, I-S-T, and is or ness. Okay, for ER. Okay, ER, example is teacher, reader, organizer, preacher. What about OR? Proctor, collector, editor, director. What about ear? Mountaineer, pioneer, volunteer. So those suffixes is for person or agents. Stir, gangster, prankster. Ayan, physician, Egyptian, Malaysian, Nigerian. How about IST? Pianist, cellist, violinist. What about ness or S? Duchess, impress, lioness. So those are examples of structural analysis of words using suffixes. So it is very easy. So for example, I will give you the word publish. Make it as a person. Suffixes for person or agent. Publish. Publisher. Very good. What about sail? Make it a person or agent. Sailor. Good. What about inspect? It will become inspector. Very good. That's right. Now let us go to the second lesson in your English is all about comparison of adjectives. Okay, comparison of adjectives. We have this one. Okay, example, the following sentences. Stella is simply adorable. Her sister seems to be more adorable though. Her sister moves more elegantly. Stella walks briskly. Still, her sister walks better. The underlined words are adorable, more elegantly, briskly, and better. These are examples of modifiers. In modifiers, there were 3 degrees of comparison of modifiers. We have positive form, comparative form, and superlative form. In positive form, it shows no comparison. The modifier is in the base form. It describes only one person, place, or thing. What about comparative form? It compares 2 persons, places, or things. Adjectives in the comparative degree are formed by adding er for 1 or 2 syllable adjectives and by adding more or less before the adjective for multi-syllable adjectives. While superlative form compares 3 or more persons, places, or things. It is formed by adding est for 1 or 2 syllable adjectives and by adding most or least before the adjectives with 3 or more syllables. So for example, generally, the way a modifier forms the comparative and superlative depends on the number of syllables the modifier has. So, if number 1, most 1-syllable modifiers form the comparative and superlative degrees by adding er and est. Okay. Fast. Example is fast. Faster and fastest. Fast is in the base form, which is the positive form or positive degree. Faster. It is now the comparative degree. What about fastest? It is the superlative degree. Next example is happy. Okay, how will you make it in comparative and superlative degrees? Happy, happier, happiest. Okay, second. Some two-syllable modifiers form the comparative and superlative degrees with ER and EST. So, two syllables. Lonely. Okay, two syllables. Lonely is the base form, which is the positive degree. Lonelier is the comparative degree, which is adding ER only and change Y to I. And the superlative degree is loneliest. Again, lonely, lonelier, loneliest. Correct. Number 3. Other two-syllable modifiers form the comparative and superlative degrees by using more and most. Okay, we will use more and most when it is multi-syllable adjectives. So, multi. Careful is equals to more careful, most careful. Or careful is equals to carefulier and carefulliest. Which of the two is correct? That's right. Careful is the base form and will become more careful in comparative degree and most careful in superlative degree. It is wrong that you will say carefulier and carefulliest. Fourth, modifiers that have 3 or more syllables form the comparative and superlative degrees with more and most. Example, tenderly. Tenderly is the base form, which consists of 3 syllables. Tenderly is equals to more tenderly and most tenderly. Or tenderly is equals to tenderlier and tenderliest. Which of the two is correct? That's right. Tenderly will become more tenderly in comparative degree and most tenderly in superlative degree. It is wrong that you will say tenderlier and tenderliest. It is confusing and irritating to the ears to listen because it is wrong. Fifth, a few modifiers form the comparative and superlative degrees in other ways. These are the irregular modifiers. So we have example of irregular modifiers or irregular adjectives do not follow the rules for comparison given previously. You have to memorize their comparative and superlative forms. Here are some of them. So these are exemptions in comparing modifiers. They will not use more and most, and also they will not use ER and EST. That is the unique way of irregular modifiers or irregular adjectives. Examples: bad. In comparative form, it will become worse. And in superlative form, it will become worst. And respectively, we have good, better, best. Well, better, best. Many, more, most. Much, more, most. Far, farther, farthest. So that is an example of irregular modifiers or irregular adjectives. So that's all for your English. Now let us go to your MAPE. MAPE. Our lesson in MAPE is all about Philippine Indigenous music and dynamics. So let us start with dynamics first. What is dynamic in music? Dynamic is all about an element of music that refers to the loudness or softness of sound. So, in science, the loudness or softness of sound is called intensity. In music, intensity is called dynamic. To indicate the dynamics of a musical piece, they mark it with dynamic symbols. So, how loud, how soft the sound is. You can find it in a musical piece through its symbol. So we have dynamic terms and symbols. We have piano, mezzo-piano, forte, and mezzo-forte. So in the second row, these are the symbols of the dynamic terms. Piano, the symbol for piano is P, which means soft. Mezzo-piano, the symbol is MP, which means half or moderately soft. Forte, the symbol is F, which means loud. And mezzo-forte, the symbol is MF, which means half or moderately loud. So in musical piece or in a musical compositions, when you see that symbol and you play an instrument, you must know the meaning of the following symbols so that you can create a good sound of your instrument and a harmonious performance of the song, how the music is played. For example, you are using your piano, you are playing piano, then you have a song entitled Pobreng Alindahaw, and then you find out that in Pobreng Alindahaw, the dynamic symbol is letter P. In the first musical phrase of Pobreng Alindahaw, the dynamic symbol used is P. So what does it mean? What does that mean? It means soft. So you will play your piano softly. And then right after the song Pobreng Alindahaw, in the chorus, there is a dynamic symbol again, which is MP. So what you are going to do, you will change your dynamic. It will change to mezzo piano, which means half or moderately soft. For that, you can dynamics to convey how the music is played. If it is slowly, softly, loudly, or moderate loud. Also, when you hear music through its dynamic symbol, you can find it out if the song is for sad, for sorrow, for rock, for angry, or for happiness. That is why that we can identify musics into ballad, love songs, rock, disco, reggae. It's because of the dynamic symbols or the dynamic in music. It is the loudness or softness of sound. So I hope that you understand dynamics. Now let us proceed to another lesson in music. It's all about Philippine Indigenous music. Okay, we have the Philippine Indigenous music includes the following. Okay, are you familiar with the indigenous music in the Philippines? Where can we find those instruments? Do you know? Okay, we can find it in Kalinga and Maguindanao provinces. So, let us travel first to Kalinga province. Let us explore their music. So, Kalinga is a province in northern part of Luzon. The word Kalinga was derived from the Ibanag and Kadang terms, which means Highlander or headhunter. Headhunter means the wildness of the place where the Kalinga people live. Kalinga is landlocked province as it is entirely surrounded by land. Kalinga music is famous for its bamboo in symbols. So, madaming kawayan sa Kalinga province. They are famous for bamboo in symbol. So, let us explore their bamboo in symbol instruments. We have patatag, tungatong, patangok, bungkakaan sa gipo. So, patatag, also known as patitig, consists of xylophone-like bamboo blades arranged in graduated sizes. The bamboo blade is tempered at both ends. The players sit, nakaupo, according to the size of the instrument and places it on their lap, sa hita, and strike it with a small stick. Second, we have tungatong or dugadong, a bamboo stamping tube. There are 6 bamboo tubes arranged in graduated sizes. Third, we have patangok, consists of 6 quail-shaped tubes in graduated sizes. And bungkaka, a bamboo buzzer. It is a percussion instrument made out of bamboo. Sagipo, a bamboo pipe or a set of bamboo pipes arranged in graduated sizes in a row. It has a slight concave curve opening on top and closed at the bottom by a node. This instrument is played by blowing. So those are the Kalinga bamboo in symbol. They have also another instruments in Kalinga. These include gangsa, tungali, paldong, and kulitong. So let us introduce them one by one. So, gangsa, in general term, it is a flat metal gong. There are two types of gangsa. Gangsa patong and gangsa tupaya. In the first picture is the gangsa tupatong. This one. This one, the first picture. Suspended from the player's left hand and is struck using a rounded or padded stick with the right hand to produce rhythmic patterns of ringing and dampen of sound. The second picture is the gangsa tupaya, placed on the player's lap as they strike it with their bare palms to play corresponding combinations of accented, dampen, and sliding strokes. So, the difference between gangsa patong and gangsa tupaya is gangsa patong uses another stick with the right hand to produce rhythmic pattern, while the gangsa tupaya is the bare palms, ang kamay na player ang siya gagawa na tunog. He will dump and slide the stroke. Next is Tungali or Tungali, a bamboo nose float. So, as you can see in the picture that the player usually plug the other nostril to increase the force of his breath through the instrument. So, we have the third is Paldong, a notch or leaf valley flute. Like the Tungali, it has an average length of 60 cm and has 2 finger holes and 1 thumb hole. The lip hole is cut at an angle where the lower lip is placed. So, Paldong is a float, leaf valley float, because as you can see that the float is not touched directly to the lips. It is only angled to the lower lip. Next, kulitong, a bamboo tube zither. This instrument has 5 to 9 strings, made from the lifted actin strips or the hard skin of a bamboo tube itself. So, the kulitong is played by plucking the strings at the top of the tube with both thumbs, while the other fingers are used to pluck the strings below and at the sides. So, let us travel to Maguindanao Indigenous instruments. So, the first one is the Kalinga music. Now, let us go to Maguindanao Indigenous instruments. Maguindanao is the only province largely populated by Muslims. It is located in the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or also known as ERMM. Maguindanaoan culture revolves around kulintang music. So, kulintang means gung music or gung in symbol. Most widely used instruments of Maguindanao are those comprised the gung in symbol called palabuni-bunyan. The palabuni-bunyan is played for merrymaking. It is not played where there are calamities, death, and during the fasting month of Ramadan. So, here are the palabuni-bunyan in symbols: kulintang, gandingan, agong, dabakan, and babandil. The kulinta, it is a set of 8 small knob gongs of graduated sizes. So, iyan ang kulintang. Gandingan, a set of 4 hanging narrow-rimmed gongs with short knobs. Next, dabakan, a goblet-shaped ethnic drum with animal skin covering the top. It is the only non-gong instrument in the Maguindanaoan in symbol. Babandil, A narrow-rimmed gong with short knob at the center. It is struck at the rim using a wooden or rattan stick. Those are the palubuni-bunyan in symbol. Kulintang, gandingan, agong, dabakan, and babandil. Now, here are other Maguindanaoan solo instruments. So, it is for solo. It means one player only. Kubing, suling, and palindag. Kubing is a bamboo jaw harp or mouth harp used to send love messages. It is usually played by men for courts. So, in their area, when a man court a girl o nanliligaw, they will use kubing, a mouth harp. Next is suling, the smallest bamboo float of the Maguindanaoan. It is a long, thin-walled bamboo tube. Its mouthpiece, a small hole, is circled with a thin band made of rattan. And palindag, a long notch float with 3 finger holes and a thumb hole. Palindag is widely used in family gatherings. So, mahaba na float. Tinatawag ito palindag. So, that's all for MAPE. Again, Philippine Indigenous music and dynamics. Now, let us go to your another lesson in the next subject, which is Filipino. Another subject, Filipino. Good. Yeah. We're done with MAPE. Let's go to Filipino, which is all about tayutay. Ano nga ba ang tayutay? Ano nga ba ang tayutay? Ang tayutay ay basahin muna natin ang mga pangusap. Ang Inglesereng langgam ay tila maamong tupa ng mapahiya sa harap ng mga kasama. Si Haring Araw ang nagbabantay sa mga langgam na masipag na naghahakot ng pagkain. Kumukulo ang dugo ni Inay kapag nakakikita ng mga langgam sa loob ng garapon. Tila, nagbabantay, naghahakot, kumukulo ang dugo, ay mga halimbawa ng tayutay. Subukan natin. Ano nga ba ang tayutay? Ang anyo ng pananalitang ginagamit sa paglalarawan. Ito ay nakatutulong upang maging mabisa, masining at kawili-wili ang paglalarawan. Sa Ingles, ito ay figure of speech. Uri ng tayutay, pagtutulad, pagwawangis, pagsasatao at pagmamalabis. Unahin natin ang tayutay na pagtutulad. Sa Ingles, ito ay simile. Gumagamit ng tuwirang paghahambing sa dalawang bagay na may isang pagkakahawi, subalit magkaiba sa ibang katangian. Ito'y gumagamit ng mga salitang kawangis, wari, tulad, gaya, tila, parang, paris, kasing. Sa Ingles, ang pagtutulad o simile ay gumagamit ng salita na like or as. Sa Pilipino naman, ay gumagamit ng mga salitang ito. Halimbawa, si Inay ay parang plakang sira kapag nagagalit. Ang ginagamit na tayutay na pagtutulad ay parang, na inahambing sa plakang sira. Pangalawa, pagwawangis o metaphor. Gumagamit ng tuwirang paghahambing sa dalawang bagay na may pagkakatulad ngunit magkaiba sa ibang katangian. Hindi ito gumagamit ng mga salitang kawangis, tila, wari, parang, tulad, paris, gaya, kasing. So, sa Ingles, ang metaphor ay ang direktang paghahambing, direct comparison. Sa Tagalog naman, ito ay ang tuwirang paghahambing. Hindi na ito gumagamit ng anumang salita. Halimbawa, tingting sa kapayatan ang batang iyan. Tingting sa kapayatan ay isang halimbawa ng pagwawangis. Pagsasatao o personifikasyon. Pinakikilos na tulad ng isang tao o binibigyang katauhan ang mga bagay, kalikasan at hayop na walang buhay sa tulong ng pandiwa. Halimbawa, humiyaw ng malakas ang bulkan. Ang tayutay na ginagamit ay humiyaw. Humiyaw ay isang kilos ng tao. Nakakakita ka na ba ng bulkan na humihiyaw? Hindi. Isa itong uri ng tayutay na personifikasyon. Pagmamalabis o hyperbole. Nagpapahayag ng mga pangyayaring imposibleng maganap o malayo sa katotohanan. Ito'y tinatawag ding mga eksaheradong pahayag. Bumabaha ng alak nang manalo ang kupunan sa basketball. Ang tayutay na ginagamit sa pangungusap na ito ay bumabaha ng alak. Nakakakita na ba kayo ng baha na puro alak? Hindi, di ba? Kaya, ang pangungusap na ito ay uri ng tayutay na pagmamalabis. Ito ay imposibleng maganap o malayo sa katotohanan. Pero, tinatawag itong eksaheradong pahayag. May malalim na kahulugan. Subukan natin na kilalanin ang mga tayutay. Number 1. Ang mga daliri ni Kuya ay kawangis ng mga upos ng kandila. A. Pagsasatao. B. Pagtutulad. Ano ang iyong sagot? Ang tamang sagot ay pagtutulad. Dahil gumagamit itong salita na kawangis. Tama. Number 2. Buwan ang nagbabantay sa nahihimbing na sanggol. A. Pagsasatao. B. Pagtutulad. Ang tamang sagot ay pagsasatao. Dahil gumagamit ito ng kilos ng isang tao na nagbabantay at nahihimbing na sanggol na inahahalin tulad o inihahambing sa buwan. Number 3. Tagos hanggang buto ang takot nila sa mga maton sa kanto. A. Pagwawangis. B. Pagmamalabis. Ang tamang sagot ay pagwawangis dahil ito ay direktang o tuwirang paghahambing sa dalawang bagay na may pagkakatulad ngunit magkaiba sa ibang katangian. Tama ang iyong mga sagot. Yun lamang po ang ating aralin sa Pilipino. Gramatikang tayutay. Now, let us go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, we are done with Filipino, MAPE, English, and Science. So I guess that's the end of our week 5 lesson. So you are now answering your module, continue answering it, and thank you for listening. Let us pray before we adjourn our session. All together, Psalm 23, 1 to 5. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness, for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presences of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Thank you for listening and see you on Monday.